Happy Saturday. What is up, you guys? Lauren Jabari here. Or it's Sunday. Oh my God. I already messed up the show. Lauren Jabari here with Jared Smith and Mark Zinno. And it is
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
Sunday.
Sunday.
I mean, it's not like you
Not
messed
Super
up
Bowl
any
Saturday.
Sunday.
It
You
is,
messed up the Sunday of the year.
yeah, we're having ourselves a day today. But what's up, guys? Jared, I'll start with you. How are you?
Oh, lovely. Back from Phoenix. It was a very fulfilling week. No flat tire on the way home, which was very nice. And yeah, when I got back, guys, you guys are going to be really excited about this. This was waiting for me on my doorstep. It is the Super Bowl script delivered by Roger Goodell. It was hand
Oh
delivered
my
to me.
God.
So if you want, I can open it on the show and we can maybe see if there's anything in there that would interest any of you guys. What do you think?
Yes. I'm in for it. I'm here for it, Zinno. How about you?
I don't believe in such fallacy, and I will not take part in any such discussion about pre-scripted games and officials and everything else. I mean, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's the best day of the year. It's the biggest game of the year. There's tons of props and information to get out there. And oh, by the way, for the fools out there who believe that there is some sort of predetermined script, guys, they can't put together all these props off some predetermined script. Like, there's just, it's not feasible. So anyway, I'm excited because there is a lot to get to today, and let's make some money, everybody. Let's do that.
We do have a lot to get into. First of all, what are we looking forward to most in the Super Bowl? Like, I feel like we're in for, honestly, a real treat tonight. Like, the Chiefs and Eagles on paper were the two best teams in the NFL this season. And you can't always say that about the Super Bowl when you get to this spot. Sometimes it's not necessarily the best team. These two teams were, for the most part, the two best teams. For Patrick Mahomes, he can continue his unreal career, win his second Super Bowl at just 27 years old. And Andy Reid would be able to do it against a franchise he coached for 14 years at, which is pretty incredible. For the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he's been phenomenal this season, 17-1 as a starter. And the Eagles might go down as one of the better teams in NFL history if they end up winning the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni would join Mike Tomlin, Doug Peterson, among others, as coaches to win a Super Bowl in their second year as head coach. And then you can't forget, guys, about the Kelsey versus Kelsey. And Donna Kelsey, as a mom, do you do like the half and half, or do you do like the front and the back, Jared? How do you do that if you're a mom?
Definitely have to do half and half in case
Right?
the camera shoots you from the other side.
Yeah.
And then you feel that it's your I don't know. I would do half and half. Thankfully, I don't have
Half and half.
children, so it's never going to be an issue for me, at least probably not.
Zinno,
And if
you
I
do
do, they're
have
probably
children,
not
so
going to
would
play in
you?
the NFL.
I know, Zinno, you have children. Would you do the half and half, or would you do the front and back?
I just go sleeveless and wear a
God
neutral
bless.
colored shirt. How's that sound?
God bless.
I mean, you just go neutral. Come on, like you don't have to wear a jersey. Just be smart about it.
Yeah. Seriously, though, I know. Jared, what's your favorite game script for today? I know you have the envelope there, but what's your favorite storyline heading into Super Bowl 57?
Yeah, there's so many great little nuggets in that game script that I got from Roger. Thank you, Mr. Goodell, for sending that to me. I think it's the Mahomes ankle and how little that will impact this game, and how actually I think it's the other quarterback that's probably going to be the more injured of the two quarterbacks in terms of his limitations, and some of the things that Jalen Hurts has been able to do have been severely hampered, I think, by the injury. I mean, I saw a chart where he can't even throw right anymore, and he's right-handed. Like all of his throws, most of them have been within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage since the injury. And I do think, for all the talk of Mahomes' ankle, and I think that's the more visible of the injuries, like you could see him limping. I think the hurt shoulder is kind of the silent assassin in this game in terms of the injury that will affect one or two quarterbacks. So that is definitely the storyline in this game that I think we'll see play out.
Yeah, Zinno, what's your favorite storyline? So many heading into Super Bowl 57 before we bring in Bobby Stanley for some props.
Yeah. I think it's twofold. One, it's always interesting to watch the student against the teacher kind of deal when you have a first-time head coach in a Super Bowl like Nick Sirianni going up against his former boss. And guys, recent trends have showed you that the first-time head coach ends up beating the one with the more experience. So it's not something that is a definitive, edge to Kansas City and Andy Reid that he's been here now 3 times in the last 5 years, as opposed to Nick Sirianni just getting here. But the on the field game script that I'm most curious is does this Philadelphia pass rush do what it's done all year long and go back to the old adage that the best defense will always be able to take out the best offense? Go back to the Buccaneers a couple of years ago against Kansas City, what they were able to do. Go back to Denver against Carolina, who was a number 1 offense that year. Go back to Seattle against Denver, Manning. They were a number 1 offense. So when you have a defense that can get after the quarterback the way Philadelphia can, and I know they haven't played a whole bunch of great quarterbacks, guys, but that doesn't mean that their pass rush it doesn't matter who's behind center. Mostly, if the pass rush gets to the quarterback, they get to the quarterback, and the Eagles did that better than anybody else in the NFL this year. If they have success getting to the quarterback, if Mahomes is hobbled and limited in any size, way, shape, or form, this Eagles pass rush could absolutely turn this game on its side, and I'm curious to see if that's what plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the storylines that end up playing out in this game. I'm excited. We all have a lot of bets on the board. One of my favorites being orange Gatorade. No, not seriously, but to be honest with you, I did drink an orange Gatorade last night just to like manifest it here into the world.
You gotta go
see what happens.
No, you gotta go. If it's the Chiefs, you pick red. If you think the Eagles are going to win, you pick the lemon lime green. That makes the most sense, right?
Lemon lime is not green. It's yellow.
Lemon lime it's green. It doesn't matter. It's the best flavor. So there's that.
Jared, please help me out on this one.
I think for the purposes of the wager, I think lemon lime is being grouped with green. But I do agree, those are 2 very distinct flavors. One is lime, which is green AF. The other one is more tinted, like urine color, frankly. Like, it really does look like yellow Gatorade. It really does look like urine.
God bless. I know. We'll be interested to see what kind of Gatorade we have. Heads or tails coming up. We have, national anthem over-unders. A lot of hard-hitting props in the show. But we got the good props coming from our guy, Bobby Stanley, Prop Holidays. I know we're saying peace out to you for a couple minutes. Bringing in our friend, Bobby Stanley, for Let's Get It Proppin'. Bobby, Prop Holiday, how are you? Happy Super Bowl Sunday, even though I thought it was Saturday this morning.
Guys, how's it going? We're at the end of the season. I think it was yesterday.
Crazy.
I was trying to convince Jared I'm Tommy Tremble, and Lauren was making fun of me for my jersey. We've come so far over this last year, but happy Super Bowl Sunday, guys.
Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Are you excited? What are you most excited for? We talked about a lot of the different storylines heading into Super Bowl 57. What excites you the most?
It's the better team versus the better quarterback head coach combo. We've seen this play out a bunch of times. For me, it's can Mahomes really go that next level and carry the team with him to a victory in the most important game. And if they played this game 10 times, I think the Eagles win 6 or 7 of them. They're the better team, but it's one game. Anyone can win on any given Sunday. I'd probably put my money on Mahomes. I'm going to put my money on Mahomes. But that game script in itself is, can you elevate everyone around you when it matters most?
Yeah, I think at this point, frankly, Bobby, the analysis paralysis. Like, I have nothing more insightful things to say about this game. Like, we've been doing it for 2 weeks, literally. So that being said, give us your insightful thoughts on your props for this game.
I know,
and you probably have locked in for the last 10 days that have probably been on the Pickswise site for 2 weeks now. But
they have, and I wanted to come today with player props that are still available today. I didn't want to give out a player prop over 60 and a half receiving yards for Devontae Smith. Doesn't matter because it doesn't exist anymore. So I made it a point to bring props that you could still bet today.
I love that.
My favorite line is something that opened up and stayed pretty flat, and it was Isaiah Pacheco, longest rush over 13 and a half yards. He hit it in 5 of the last 10. The Eagles have given this up 5 straight games. That's the data. I went back and watched that. I watched the NFC Championship game. I watched a little bit last night. I watched a little bit this morning. It's 2nd and 10 on Philly's 23. They got 8 guys lined up in the box. I know they're running. You know they're running. Single high safety, and McCaffrey bowls over everybody. Epps whips in the backfield. C.J. Gardner-Johnson gets bowled over with Javon Hargrave, and Darius Slay whiffs, and he scores 23 yards. I think Pacheco can rip off a run. And these running backs, McKinnon and Pacheco, I really think are the secret for success for this Chiefs offense today. So longest rush over 13.5 yards.
What else you got today for us? Give us everything. Give us it all. Give the people what they want, what they need.
I'll stay with the I will stick with the running back thing because I really do think it's an advantage for the Chiefs, and it's a way you neutralize that pass rush and you get the ball out of his hands really quickly. Jerick McKinnon, over 20.5 receiving yards. This line's the lowest it's been since December 18th against the Texans, and he had 70 yards in that game. If we look at the wide receiver core, Kelsey is who he is, but the rest of the receiver core's kind of hobbled. I know they don't have an injury designation today. I'm not really buying it. If I look at Kadarius Toney, his targets are manufactured. They're not something that he gets within the route tree. Smith-Schuster, I don't trust to get any separation against Avonte Maddox. So I look at and Hardman being out. I look at McKinnon quietly as one of the more trusted receiver options. I think for Mahomes today. I went back and looked at the last two Super Bowls for Andy Reid and this Chiefs team. 8 targets and 9 targets to their running back group. And I think between Pacheco and McKinnon's more the receiving threat. So over 20.5 receiving yards, and you can still get that today. So that one really stood out to me. Philly defense, they've been awesome this year. But if you start nitpicking and going through some stuff, passes between 1 and 9 yards, 17th overall in EPA per pass attempt, 24th in first down rate, 26th in third down conversion. So that short passing game is going to be key for the Chiefs offense. So no, I really like McKinnon today. I think he's an alt line guy. Everybody's going to put their same game parlays out there. I'm throwing McKinnon at an alt line at 40, 50, and 60 because I think he really can have an explosive day.
Wow. Yeah. I've heard a few very sharp people on McKinnon. Again, not a guy that we're hearing a lot about in this situation. I see Goddard's on your list too. Goddard's a guy that one of the few Eagles players that I bet on. I think he might be the only Eagles player that I bet on here. And I'm assuming you're looking at the same numbers I am with his short, middle, and intermediate routes and how just the Eagles, I think that's going to be a big factor in the game.
It is. Hit the nail on the head. You could play this either way. You could play his yards. You could still get his yards at 45.5 on points bet. I've seen it as high as 49.5. Stay below 47.5 if you want to play his yards. The receptions, I think, are just as good. It's 4.5 receptions. Hit it in both postseason games, 50% of regular season games. I think like 65% with Jalen Hurts. So Chiefs, 5th most targets to opposing tight ends. And the middle of that field's just a funnel, 29th in DVOA in the pass direction. So Goddard is the guy who stands out as the biggest mismatch on paper for me with the Eagles. And Brown may have his day. Devontae Smith may have his day. One of the two will go off. It's nothing I feel extremely strong about unless you got that opening Devonta Smith line, which it's long gone now. So give me Goddard on the receptions or the receiving yards and that KC linebacker core. I've been picking on him all postseason. It worked with Travis Etienne, and it worked in the AFC Championship game as well. So Goddard, can't go wrong either way.
Bobby Zino's chiming in the chat right now. He says, Boston Scott, under 8.5 rushing yards. Book it. How do you feel about Boston Scott in this game?
Well, he's not playing the Giants, so I don't feel great. If I look at Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell, I think the leading rusher for the Eagles today is going to be Jalen Hurts. So Boston Scott 8.5 rushing yards, the under. I think it sounds great.
That's not a bad bet. I probably can bet that.
You definitely can find that. But like you pointed out earlier, Jared, his arm doesn't look right. He missed wide open throws to Devontae Smith in the divisional round, wide open throws to A.J. Brown, and the one he did connect in the NFC Championship game, it really wasn't a catch to Devontae Smith. That technically would have been overturned. So he doesn't
have
look
two
right.
completions of over 20 yards since the injury. I mean, I think it's laughable that people think that Patrick Mahomes is the more banged up quarterback in this game. Like, honestly, it is funny to me that people use that as like a narrative. Like, oh, but Mahomes' ankle. Like, yeah, but he can still throw. Jalen can't throw. That's the problem we're seeing right now. So, yeah, but that also scares me about how willing of a runner he's going to be in this game. And to me, that's the part of it that I'm curious about.
And they struggle. I mean, the Chiefs struggle with an RPO offense. The Eagles are the best in the league at it. So that is there's a scenario where the Eagles blow the doors off this, and it's not a fun game to watch. I'm not betting it that way, but there's a reality where that exists. So, Hurts.
I think the bigger blowout fear is the other direction. I really do.
Is the Chiefs.
I don't see the Eagles. I don't see the Eagles playing 3 games in the playoffs where they blow out all 3 opponents. I don't see that happening.
The disparity between the talent levels of, you go Daniel Jones, a one-arm Brock Purdy and Josh Johnson to Patrick Mahomes. You look at the other side, you get Trevor Lawrence and a surging Jaguars team with Peterson head coach. Then you get the hottest team in the league, and yeah, there were some controversial calls, but they won that game. That being battle-tested.
They had a 90% post-game win expectancy. There was no world where they weren't winning that game, besides like some fluky play at the end.
So, I don't think anyone thinks that the Eagles are going to blow out the Chiefs. No one's saying that the Eagles are going to blow out the Chiefs by any means. I mean, they played a Giants team that wasn't that great, and then they played a banged-up 49ers team that looked like the JV squad when they were the varsity squad. I feel like no one thinks that the Eagles are going to blow out the Chiefs, and that's why the line has been set at 1.5 for literally 2 weeks now. Like, it has not moved at all at this point. But, Bobby, who do you think is going to win this game?
I do think the Chiefs, and I feel like I'm on an island by myself. How is this not a pick'em? How is this not? It didn't make sense to me.
This week that really like the Chiefs.
So no, I am backing the Chiefs. I am betting the Chiefs. It is a certain level of okay. If I look at the position groups, the Philly's better at secondary, better at playmakers, better along the defensive line, better along the offensive line. The better head coach and the better quarterback sit in Kansas City. And that's where my money's going. They've been here. It's their 3rd time together. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that Rams-Patriots Super Bowl a few years back where a lot of people are like, Rams, hottest team in the league, young whiz kid, Sean McVay. If you talk to people within the Patriots organization that last 2 weeks, they knew they were going to dominate Jared Goff in that game. They were just that more confident. I do feel there's a quiet confidence to this Chiefs team. They've been here before. Radio Road Super Bowl week is not shaking them a little bit. And Jalen Hurts gave some good sound bites, but Patrick Mahomes is an underdog. He has my money. That's where my money's going.
I like it. Bobby Stanley, we so appreciate you. I know we're going to be talking to you throughout the NBA. Wait, what did you say?
I have one long shot. My last long shot touchdown
let's hear
of the season. It's plus 800. It's Quez Watkins, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. You can get it at plus 800 today over on FanDuel. He's played 50% of the snaps in 15 to 17 games. He's been quiet the last 2 games because they've been run heavy. They've had 2 and 3 score leads. There's no real reason to air out the ball, especially in the second half of those games. He has 3 touchdowns on the season. This should be like plus 400, plus 450. Give me Quez Watkins at plus 800 for my long shot TD score of the day.
I like it. I know we'll be talking to you throughout the NBA season, but this is it for NFL. We appreciate you, Bobby Stanley. Thank you for dishing us the best props all season long, and best of luck with today, and just enjoy the Super Bowl in general.
Lauren, Jared, Mark, I know you're still back there. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome NFL season. Thank you guys for having me, and I look forward to NBA.
Yay. Thank you, Bobby Stanley, Prop Holiday. Enjoy Super Bowl 57. Peace out as we say bye to Bobby and hello to Marcus Zinno. Is your real name Marcus, or is it just Mark?
Hell no. Just M-A-R-K.
I tried to make something out of nothing. We're here.
Can I say
I'll
this
let you
much?
have your moment, Zinno, with the Boston Scott. I'll let you have your moment.
Well, it comes down to game script, guys. Plain and simple. I mean, if you look at the Eagles, and every time that Boston Scott has gotten any significant number of carries or yards, they're all in Eagles blowouts. Every single game they lost, he never got more than 2 carries. In fact, there are 3 losses. He got 3 combined carries, I think, for 11 yards. So every single time they're in a tight game or they are trailing, Boston Scott does not see the field. He only gets on the field in games where there's a blowout. I expect this game to be tight. Heck, I expect the Chiefs to be leading for a better part of it. And I just don't. No, I think Boston Scott could poach a goal line carry because he's always, available to do that. But he's not going to get three attempts in this game unless the Eagles are winning by 15 points. It's just not going to happen. So, I've even seen this number come down to 7.5 in certain shops. I picked up this one earlier in the week, and I've been on it ever since. I feel like it's one of these under-the-radar plays that sits right into a game script that I've developed, and I just don't see him getting on the field, period. If he gets 2 carries today, I think it's a lot. So I don't see him getting to 9 rushing.
I like it. I really do. The day has finally come, my friends, for who wins the game. What sides and totals are we taking? Any props? Jared, I'll start with you first. Run through your script. Let's see it. Are you going to open that envelope at any point, or are you just going to leave it closed there? I've been waiting with all of the
You
anxious.
guys remember the Johnny
world.
Carson bit when he used to do like it was one of my favorite bits of all time. So here you go, guys. I actually did. This
You wrote out
actually
a script
exists.
and put it in an envelope? I'm dead.
I didn't write. What are you talking about? I didn't write anything. Roger wrote it and then sent it to me. I didn't write anything. Nip tuck. Ready? The game will be tied after 0-0. Nip tuck. Get it? Script. I'm trying to be cute
Nip.
and fun with you guys. I'm sorry. It's not really working.
No,
Bag
Roger's
of tricks.
Not you. Not you.
Yeah,
Roger.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I forgot. I broke character for a minute there. Bag of tricks. 2-point conversion. Attempt. Yes. It's minus 115. Chiefs rushing attempts. Players over 4.5. It's probably too juicy to bet now. I got it at minus 180. So the Chiefs are going to have the better defensive game here. So I'm going to go Chiefs with more sacks in the game. I wrote that up for the website.
Wow.
No sack for Hassan Reddick. That's plus money, under a half a sack. And also Nick Bolton over 10.5 tackles. That's the guy that's going to be in the middle when all the Eagles' rushing attempts come. The ref show, obviously, over 10.5 penalties. Have to bet that. Move the sticks over 42.5 first downs. We already gave you the Goddard over with Bobby. Long may he reign. Patrick Mahomes, the MVP of the game. Come on. It's 2-time MVP. It's going to be a first MVP in the regular season and postseason since our friend Kurt Warner. And finally, Chiefs 26, Eagles 24. There's your game script. And all the props that I'm
and just like that, we crumple it up and toss it to the side.
That's
just
it.
Like that.
Well, it's fake, right? It's fake news. So, I just wanted to make sure I got that out there to the universe. So when the script happens that way, you guys can be like, oh, wow.
You're like, damn, that's a good script. You love to see it. Roger Goodell just sharing his knowledge with Jared Smith. I love it. I absolutely love it. Long reign the king. Is it long live the king or reign the king?
Long may he reign. It's from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Game of Thrones.
I've never seen Game of Thrones. I know it's a little
Yeah,
devastating,
don't worry about
but
I don't believe in dragons and warlocks, so I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
But everybody watches Game of Thrones. I'm going to watch it eventually. It just depends on you find enough time to be able to do it. So, okay, Zeno, your game script. Where's your envelope? Pull it out. Let's see what you got.
Okay, here we go. I just opened it up. You ready? So I'm not as artful as Jared. I mean, he has theater of the mind and display better than I do. I just talk. So I mentioned the Boston Scott. Look, I think, as you guys discussed, there's a couple of different game scripts that are out here. I think the least likely one is that there is a blowout on either side. However, I keep going back to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with the Buccaneers and their defense and their pass rush that made life a living hell for Patrick Mahomes in a game that ended 31-9. I'm always going to side with the pass rush. I'm with you, Jared. Like, I don't think that they're the more likely team to blow them out. But if it's going to happen, it's because the defense is wreaking havoc all day long. Look, is there anybody better than to scheme against a pass rush like Philadelphia than Andy Reid? Of course not. So I agree with you guys. Earlier in the week, okay, and Jared, you're going to smile when I do this, but earlier in the week, I teased Kansas City to +8 and the total down to 44.5. I know we don't tease totals, and I know we're not allowed to, but I did it.
You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want.
I know,
honestly.
But listen, it moved from 49.5 to 50.5, and I didn't. That's when I said I got to get the total down because I'm not going to come back down low, right? We're trending towards 52 now. What I really would love to see happen, guys, and I'm watching this closely all day long because money keeps coming in on the Chiefs. We're down to -1, right? We're even at a pick 'em in certain shops. Oh God, do I really want Kansas City to get to -1? So then I could take the Eagles, tease them, and then take the under up to 57 or 58 and middle the hell out of this thing on both ends because I think that's exactly where it lands, right? I think teasing both ways is a distinct possibility that both sides hit just because these teams are fairly evenly matched. And even if the Eagles' offense is sputtering, I still think their defense can keep them in the game enough to keep this thing close. So that's what I'm sort of hoping for as the rest of today unfolds. Now, as far as props is concerned, here's a couple that I have already played. Opening kickoff, a touchback. No. I have it at +115. It was at +140 earlier in the week. It's come down a little bit. But 28 of the last 31 Super Bowls, the opening kickoff has been returned out of the end zone. The only 3 times it did not happen was in a dome. State Farm Stadium, the big toaster oven that's out there, is a retractable roof, technically not a dome. Plus, if Harrison Butker is kicking off, he's still dealing with that injured leg. It doesn't have as much power as he used to. Way too much adrenaline. These guys always run this stuff out. So we are locked in for that prop. Now, here's another one that I found. And this was on, I think it was on DraftKings earlier in the week, if I remember it. But Chiefs first half money line plus over 24.5 team total for Kansas City. So all Kansas City has to do is get a lead at half and score more than 24.5 points. I think either team that wins this game is scoring more than 24.5 points. So I hope we get to at least, 24, 21 on both sides. That gets me to my 45 to clear my T's. But I am sitting there with that prop as well. Let me look. I forgot where the rest of my props were. Hold on. Sorry. Very bad. There's a lot out there. I mentioned Boston Scott as well. I played that. And then I really, really like, guys, and this isn't really a prop per se, but first quarter over 9.5. Now, this thing, the juice has been moving on this thing all week long as far as this number. I know I saw FanDuel earlier in the week had it at 10 at plus money, 10 even at plus money. But 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls have gotten to at least 10 points in the first quarter. 4 of them had landed exactly on 10, including the last 3 in a row. These 2 teams are top 5 in first quarter points scored on the season in the NFL. Both of them start fast. Both of them score early. And I think both of them will score early. As long as Jalen Hurts is serviceable enough here, guys, in the first quarter, I think this thing goes over 9.5 in the first quarter. I don't necessarily love the over in the game, especially now that we're eclipsing 51. But I think the first quarter and the thing starting fast is sort of this preconceived notion that teams don't score a lot early in the Super Bowl, that the game is a little bit slower. It's just not the case. And the trends and the numbers back that up. So, and the other part is, guys, if you want to just take something as a live bet here, if you go back the last 10 Super Bowls, the team that won the game was either tied or leading at halftime, with the exception of the New England Patriots against the Atlanta Falcons. And that was obviously the game that they were behind, huge. But also the team that was leading in the first quarter also went on to win the Super Bowl in 9 of the last 10 Super Bowls. So if you'd like to get into a live bet situation, watch how the game unfolds early and then jump in live on a money line, depending on where the number is and what you can get for it. I think that's also a worthwhile play here. I did not pick an actual side, guys, on the game. I just didn't do it. There's way too much variance. It's a coin flip sort of scenario. Jared, I think you're right that we may be underestimating who the healthier quarterback is in this spot here. So I didn't get anywhere on the side, but that's sort of what I've laid out for Super Bowl 57 for myself.
I like it. I really do. Okay, I'm going to go through my game script really quick. And before I do, it was so funny. My brother sent me this prop that he found, and I want to see what you guys would take on it. It's, will Tom Cruise parachute into the stadium to hand deliver the game ball? Yes is plus 35.75, and no is minus 50,000. My brother found that somewhere. I don't know.
Where did that come? Why would it? In what universe would that be a yes? Why? Why would?
How amazing would that be though if that did happen? I mean, throw $5 on it, just in case it does. Why not?
Possible coming out that I'm not aware of? Did Mission Impossible series the NFL?
That would be what I would think.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, why not? I'm putting $5 on yes. Why not? Just sprinkling it on there, just a little guy, because in case it does happen, that would be freaking amazing. Okay, my props right now: Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. That would actually be unreal.
What's the prop on aliens attacking the Earth today? Can I bet the yes on that?
Literally, I know. I know. Seriously though, but could you imagine? Is that Tom Cruise? Does he have the game ball in his hand right now? That would be unbelievable. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown. I hit it last game. He's had 7 rushing touchdowns in his last 6 games. Again, I don't think he's going to be throwing as much because his shoulder's hurting still a little bit. He's going to use his legs a lot. You could still get this at even money. This next one, I bet Like 10 days ago, I got it minus 140. It's now juicy at minus 215. So you can decide if you want to put the juice on it or not. Patrick Mahomes, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's thrown for over 1.5 touchdowns in 6 of his last 7 games. Also with his ankle, he might only be at 80%. Going to be looking for a similar game plan to the last game that they played. Also with how quick the Eagles are in their pass rush. He's going to want to get the ball out fast, not rely too much on his ankle. Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown score. The juice has actually gotten less juicy, less pulpy over the last week and a half. Now you can get it at minus 115. I thought it was going to get more juiced. Earlier it was like minus 130. So he's 100% scoring a touchdown. He is Patrick Mahomes' favorite target at this point. Not much else needs to be said. Best tight end in the league, 15 touchdowns on the season so far. Has had a touchdown in 8 of his last 9 playoff games and led the regular season in end zone targets. So I feel pretty good about that one too. Devontae Smith, over 65.5 receiving yards. The numbers compared with A.J. Brown are basically identical over the second half of the season. He's averaging 8.8 targets, 81.6 receiving yards per game on the season. The Chiefs defense allowed 82.5 QBR to opposing QBs when they targeted the wide receiver this year, which is 27th in the NFL. I think that him and A.J. are going to get similar targets in a situation like this, but his number, Devontae's number, is way lower than AJ's is. So I feel pretty good about that. Orange Gatorade, tails never fails. And I also like the Eagles money line and Eagles minus 1.5. So we'll see how that plays out. We're going to get into our best bet of the day. But first, let's bet it, presented by our friends at Superbook Sports. Can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook gives you a chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. No fancy computer algorithms, no one across the pond setting lines for American sports, just the best team of traders in the business at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, some of the best odds boosts and promo bets in the country. So if you're in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Nevada, New Jersey, or Tennessee, download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com to start your battle against Vegas. From superbook.com to pickswise.com, Gerard will come to you. 3-star plays of the day on the site. Who do we have today? You're muted.
What happened? We lost him.
You're muted. You
Fix
hate
it. Let me fix it.
This is not in the Roger Goodell game script, Gerard.
Yes. This was
This is
not
not
the
in the
game
game
script.
script.
Not in the let's bet it
Zeno,
game
who do we
script.
got on the site? I can't hear you.
Oh, man. Boy, do we have a plethora, as they of 3-star plays of the day on the website. We actually also have some NBA plays up there today as well. But, I mean, guys, everybody from Howard Bender, Andrew Wilshire, Andrew Ortenberg, Ricky Diamond, all have 3-star props, or 3-star plays, rather, on the Super Bowl. You have to go to Pickswise.com and check out all of the best bets for today. And there's plenty out there, folks. So you have carte blanche, as they say.
Go check it out, all a la carte. You can choose whatever you want. I know Jared's still trying to figure out his mic issues on that side.
Oh my
he said
Lord.
He doesn't know what happened. I can read your lips, but I can't hear you still, Gerard. Zeno, I'll come to you. Your best bet of the game today. Your best bet for Super Bowl 57. Okay. Who you got?
Well, while we have Jared in the isolation chamber stewing up his best bet for Super Bowl 57, I will go back to the bet that I talked about earlier. For my best bet today, over 9.5 points in the first quarter here. When you look at 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls, the trend says that all of these teams, 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls, have gotten to at least 10 points in the first quarter. 4 of the last 7 have landed right on 10, with 3 in a row getting right to that number. The Eagles and Chiefs are 2 of the top 5 teams in the NFL in first quarter points scored. They average almost 6 points per game in the first quarter. That's enough for me to back over 9.5 in the first quarter between the Chiefs and Eagles. I think both teams start fast. We get some points put up. If you see a plus or a 10 out there even, I would play that too. I think the first quarter ends 7-7. If you have 7-7 in your box score, in your box pool, get ready to be very happy, because that's where I think this lands at the end of one quarter.
I like it. Gerard, can we hear you yet? And if not, write it down on a piece of paper.
Hey!
Oh, it worked?
You're back.
We hear you.
I literally haven't. Honestly, I have not even done anything besides refresh like 3 times.
He's back
I like
better than
Mahomes
ever.
to be the MVP. Patrick Mahomes, the MVP. I gave it out last week on Playbook. Nothing in this situation has changed for me over the last week. I think it's basically a Chiefs money line bet. If you like the Chiefs to win the game, I mean, you can obviously bet the Chiefs to win the game. It's not a problem, but you're going to get 20, 30 cents more juice on Mahomes to win the MVP. And to me, that's the most correlated bet you probably can make in this Super Bowl. Because I just, barring like a pick six or multiple pick sixes probably, or multiple special teams touchdowns, with some unfathomable aliens dropping onto the field and carrying the ball across the goal line for the Chiefs. I just don't see how Kansas City wins this. Like, even if it's Travis Kelce that has 3 touchdowns, who's throwing him the ball? So I don't see how that Mahomes, if the Chiefs win this game, I don't see a scenario where Mahomes doesn't win the MVP. So I think this is basically a Chiefs money line bet, and we're getting some significant juice, comparatively speaking, where the current line is. So Patrick Mahomes, long may he reign, the MVP of the Super Bowl, and going to be kind of breaking a little bit of a curse here. I think of multiple consecutive regular season MVPs have lost in the Super Bowl. So we'll see if Patty can break the ice here.
Yeah, Patty Ice. Let's see what happens. My best bet, Jalen Hurts with his shoulder still hurting. Anytime touchdown. 7 rushing touchdowns in his last 6 games. The fact that you could get this still at even money, jump on it right now. He's going to use his legs, I think, a lot more than he throws the ball. Feel pretty good about Jalen Hurts being able to score a touchdown in this game. Lock it in. Also, orange Gatorade, because lemon lime is not green, and red Gatorade, no one drinks red Gatorade. So get that shit out of here and give me the orange Gatorade. That's it for us today, guys. Oh, I have to tell you about the exciting announcement for Super Bowl week. Pickswise is giving away $1,000 to one lucky member of Pickswise Nation with our big game parlay builder contest. All you have to do, make 6 picks about what will happen in the Super Bowl tonight, including the spread and total, plus player props, including Patrick Mahomes passing yards. And if you pick all 6 correctly, you'll be entered to win the $1,000 cash prize. Use the link at Pickswise bio to sign up right now for free. Jared, do you think you'd hit it? 6 legs parlay? How do you feel?
Yeah, it's easy. Everyone can do it. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's free,
Zeno,
right?
How about you? Yeah. Zeno, you gonna hit it?
I'll give my best attempt, but I have.
I don't think we're eligible to win.
Oh, we're not. No. Well, I
had
will
this
do it
discussion with Howard on Friday. The worst thing
my-
possible would be if one of us did win and they wouldn't give it to us because we're employees of the network. So I will.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I will stay away from
I'm
it.
going to give everyone
I
one more
support everyone
sentence.
trying to do it.
I love it. I'm going to give everyone one more sentence. Everyone sign off before the final Super Bowl show and before we take a hiatus of the show for a week. We're taking a break from this next week until the week after. We'll be back with a lot of NBA, college basketball, hockey, you name it. We got it. But Jared, final sentence before Super Bowl 57.
Chiefs.
Period.
That's all I got.
Zeno, final
Period.
sentence.
Cash some tickets. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy the game. Have a wonderful day.
My final one, tails never fails. Guys, that's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Jared Smith, Mark Zeno. I'm Lauren Javara. Best of luck with your Super Bowl bets. Until then, we'll see ya. Let's get it. Let's get it.